Hey my loves, welcome back to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local light worker. Hello, welcome to the space of tranquility, love, and optimism. I hope that you feel very comforted here. I hope that you have a really lovely experience and that you learn something new about yourself. These are the intentions with which I want to actually enrich this reading that I have prepared for you today. I want to uncover today, with the help of tarot and a couple of oracle decks, how are you as a sponge capable of absorbing knowledge? What is the easiest, best way in which you can absorb knowledge? Now, I know from my conversations with a lot of you on Instagram and through my emails that most of you and most of my family, my crew, is actually undertaking some form of study, whether you are in higher education, whether you need to do some training on the job, you are somehow improving yourselves. I mean, nowadays in the age of information, all of us are lifelong learners. We always need to improve and update our skills and our knowledge and our abilities in order to just make it in the current precarious economy. Okay, so we have here 4 options. The first one is Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own. The second one is A Guided Map of Prague. We have here the crystal selenite. The third one is Rumi, Whispers of the Beloved. And last but not least, the Langenschein Dictionary of Japanese and German. So these are all small pocket books that I had with me for a very long time, but I've only recently managed to unbox them. So I thought of sharing these with you because in a recent poll I did on Instagram, make sure to follow me there at MSBontemps if you're not following me already. But in a recent poll I did on Instagram, you guys told me that you love to choose from crystals and from objects. So here I am, giving you what you guys voted for. I hope you enjoy this. Feel free to pause the video right now and meditate on your options. And if you have made your choice, then I will see you at your pile. Goodbye, my loves. Hey group 1, welcome to your reading. I hope you are doing well. I just want to say that today's energies are a little bit weird and wacky. I do hope you are safe, that you're taking very good care of yourself, and I'm sending you so much light, okay? Hello new subscribers, hello returning subscribers. I'm Lexi, the local light worker, and I'm really happy that you guys made your way to my channel. I think that maybe through some surreptitious event you were drawn towards my energy, and I'm very grateful that Spirit organized this meeting between us. So this is for those of you that were drawn to the first booklet. This is one of my favorite all-time ever short texts. It is Virginia Woolf's essay, A Room of One's Own. And to be very honest, guys, I'm a professional writer. I trained academically and I published my first book last year. My second one is in the making. This is the woman who inspired me to pursue this journey and to make many brave risks along the way of trying to become a female author in a staunchly masculine academic environment. So if you feel that you are drawn towards writing, if you feel that, you are lacking inspiration or need some sort of comforting support, please read this book. It will change your life. It certainly changed mine. Virginia's like, homie. So, oh God, I hope I haven't angered her from beyond the veil. So we have here rose quartz as well. This is a very soothing, calm, gorgeous stone. Feel free to wear it if you feel like you are struggling to connect to spirit. And in this period, we are in this, the summer is very difficult astrologically because, well, after the eclipse season, now Sirius gateway has opened. So we are close to the Lion Gate when the sun conjuncts the brightest star in the sky. But this is not an astrological chart reading. Why am I talking about this at the moment? You're here to find out how are you as a sponge of knowledge best able to attract and absorb knowledge. Okay, so when I say best, I'm talking about what is the easiest way in which you can learn things, in which you can communicate knowledge as well. So there is the way in which we take in knowledge and the way in which we share it with others, the way in which we expel it. Yeah. So I will pull from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, gorgeous deck. Feel free, guys, to subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I really want to say that I'm so happy. I want to share this thing with you. Almost all of the decks I'm using in this reading have been donated by you, my lovely subscribers. I have a tarot wish list down below if you want to go and have a look at it. It gives me so much joy to share these things with you. But enough about me, let's talk about you. So you got the Three of Wands. This is gorgeous. This is such a similar energy to my own, how I learn. You learn when you are in motion. Really important, okay? The best way in which you can absorb knowledge is if you find yourself in a moving vehicle. If you are in a car, in a tram, if you are commuting, in a subway, in a train, in a plane, the best place to study, learn, acquire knowledge, and absorb it the easiest. I wanted to say absorb and easiest in one word, so we got absorbist. The best way in which you can absorb knowledge is when you are in these moments, these in-between sequences, when you are in transit, in motion. You see how he has his little pouch here and how he put it on his back, and he's just traveling. So a lot of you could be Moon in Sagittarius. Woohoo! Hey yo! I'm also Moon in Sagittarius. That's why I'm so ridiculously excited. But you could also be a Moon in Leo. I do think that this is a lot of fire energy. So you learn the best, not only when you are in motion, but when you act. You need to do something physically with your body. You need to launch yourself on an exploration. In order for you to learn geography, for example, the best thing to do is to travel, okay? So you are this kind of factual learner. You learn by and also experiential learner, okay? So, for example, John Dewey's pedagogical writings or teachings could highly appeal to you. His philosophy was all about how you need to act in order to learn, and how, you know, it's really good for children, for example, to experiment with touching, tasting, feeling, playing around with the world around them, because this is the way, the best way in which they can learn, okay? So you guys are my adventurers, explorers. You could also have some sort of twitching or fidgeting issues. Maybe in school you got called off. Maybe people put you on some meds because they thought you had ADHD or some other attention deficit disorder. But I'm here to say that this was mostly because the structure of the school system, the fact that you have to sit down for hours on end, is the one that was wrong. It wasn't necessarily your spirit. Your spirit is one that learns by doing. You had to be in motion. So unfortunately, not a lot of schools are tailored for these different learning styles. But I mean, I guess that once you actually left school, or when you were away from school, in these moments of, you know, moving around, you learned much more than when you were genuinely sitting in class and having to pay attention to a blackboard. Maybe you learned a lot from your environment, so you're very street smart. Maybe you're self-taught. This is fire energy, so this is a lot about taking control, you know, doing things, exercising your own independent thinking capacity. So this is a lot about becoming the master in your area of teaching and learning and studying. Some of you could have had some experiences while you were in school that made you be a bit rebellious against the system. So as I said, maybe you found out that you were improperly diagnosed with a disease, but actually all that it took for you to learn better and to improve your grades was just to be in motion, just to be allowed to take self-control over the material that you were studying. So once you discovered this about yourself, maybe a couple of you were like, you know what, the system needs to be changed, it needs to be reformed. So maybe a couple of you are in higher education at the moment and you're trying to reform it from the inside out. So you're trying to become a teacher in order to do things differently and to improve other students' life, because your experience was one where you felt like you were caged by the system, you know? That could be for a small portion of you, but overall, what I'm seeing here is that you guys learn the best when you are in transit, in motion. You need to be in some sort of moving vehicle. If you have a period of time where you have to commute from one city to another, or from school to home, from home to work, this is excellent time for you to make the best use of it. So please bring a book with you. Please download books on your phone or on your iPad or tablet. Bring all of these devices with you and listen to audiobooks, read books. Try to do your homework while you are in moving vehicles. I know that might be a bit tricky, but this is a challenge that those of you who chose the Three of Wands can undertake. You actually enjoy the playfulness of it, you know. I feel that when your body is being shaken a little bit, your mind is able to process things easier. You guys are kind of like a, you know, like you're like an engine. Like your mind is like an engine, and if you don't give it fuel, and if you don't push it forward, you don't allow it to actually proceed with what it wants to achieve, then it will just stagnate. It's like the car is not working, okay? It's like when you start a car, it needs to have a path to drive on, right? Because if you just start it and you just let it run its engine, it will eventually, you know, succumb to its own demise. So that's the initial thing that I got for you guys. Now let's pull some oracle cards. I'm so excited. So we have here the Keepers of the Light, gorgeous deck. Let's find out what light being or what ascended master is guiding you on the path of acquiring knowledge, okay? So for my action-prone learners, you have here the Divine Director. What was I talking about? You becoming a teaching authority and reforming the system. Okay, so I already can feel that not only is the Divine Director one of your spiritual spirits and your, if you want to call them ancestors, if you want to call them part of your ascended masters, I think that would make more sense. Call them however you want to, relate to them however you want to. You can even call them Bob, you know. Just make it your own. Take whatever I'm saying here and make it your own. That's my hope and my intent, okay? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just hopefully giving you a roadmap and you can take it and make it your own. Okay, so it says here, intervention and purpose. Let me read you the affirmation. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. And I could hear somebody blowing a whistle outside. You could also be very good at coaching other people. So you could be a life coach, business coach, wellness coach, spiritual coach. I feel that you could also be a sports coach, literally. Like you could be very good at learning about how the body works. Fire energy and expansion. A lot of you could have Jupiter right on the ascendant, or what am I getting here? Jupiter in the 11th house. So it's a lot about understanding how technology can help expand our minds. A lot of you could be attracted to the study of astrophysics and the cosmos. I'm equally attracted to that in this period as well. So yeah, I'm just getting like a very Jupiterian mind. Some of you could have moon conjunct Jupiter, so you have a very expansive mind. If you're not a moon in Sagittarius, your moon could be conjunct Jupiter. So you're all about expansion. You're all about trusting and having faith that things will somehow work out. If people will just allow you to move and to take your teaching and your learning into your own hands. So you need to be allowed to self-teach yourself, okay? You need to find ways, playful ways, fun ways, ways that you can put your body in movement and thereby acquire the knowledge that you need to own. A lot of you also need to have experiences in order to understand the meaning of a certain philosophy. So it's going to be very hard for you just to understand things from a book. Like, for example, you might learn about Wu Wei, right? This philosophical idea in Taoism that you need to find peace and stillness, that you don't need to push or force other things, that simply being is part of you existing in this world. So the principle of non-forcing. And I think that you could be able to understand it mentally, but you need to be able to have lived through a situation in life that was so chaotic that it's almost like your spirit requires stillness. When your spirit puts you into that position of you needing a certain experience, then you're able to match up what you have studied from books with that certain experience. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to describe this energy as best as I can, but this is what I'm getting with the divine director. Either you could become a teacher, or you need to take teaching into your own hands. If other people have ostracized you or have diagnosed you with some weird things, just keep in mind that it could be that there is a very poor fit between your own spirit and how you are studying, your studying style, and your environment, okay? You might just genuinely need to be in a car to learn and read and be able to focus and concentrate on the written words. And if you are finding it very difficult to read words, some of you could have dyslexia, then I highly suggest having somebody talking to you, okay? So having this exchange, having this conversation that will help you absorb knowledge in the best possible way. Okay, we also have here Shaolin Master. This is unbelievable. I just mentioned Wu Wei earlier, right? It's all about how you manipulate energy and how you don't react on the energy. You just allow energy to be. Fascinating. I love it when the cards do that. So here we have the affirmation, be graceful in movement and action. This is strongly confirming everything I have described before, so I'm not going to insist too much on this card. I feel that the grasshopper spirit is really important somehow in your educational endeavors. A lot of you actually will enjoy studying and learning in spite of whatever obstacles or friction you might have from other people, and even if you might think that your environment is not fitting with your learning style. So as I said, you guys could have a very strong, maybe Saturn in the third house. This is limiting your environment and it's making everything seem poor and dried up and boring. But if you have your moon conjunct Jupiter on the inside, you will genuinely enjoy studying. So you'll feel quite happy. Okay, this card just popped up, so I'm going to use it. So you'll feel quite happy when you're studying. To close off that sentence. Okay, I have a Mercury in Pisces, guys, so I speak in a lot of parentheses and then I need to remind myself consciously to go back and close them, okay? So again, you know, we're sharing learning styles here and communication styles. So we have here Sekhmet, the Red Lady. And the affirmation is, I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Ooh, a lot of you could be Leos, okay? So this is really interesting because we did have here the Three of Wands. So a lot of you could be quite, because of the fact that you kind of have the spirit of, I know what I need to do. I can take matters into my own hands. I need to be given control of the situation and then I will excel at it. Because of the fact that you guys have this inward sense of confidence and self-esteem that's very powerful, it's very solar, okay? Then you will clash often with authority figures, so with other teachers. You might challenge the way your teachers are teaching. As I said earlier, you might be quite rebellious and might want to reform the system from the ground up. Some of you could have Pluto and Sagittarius, so you are meant to reform religious rituals. You are meant to reform as well the way we teach, higher education especially, and the way we travel. So, you know, space travel might be an option in the future, and you guys could be part of that generation that contributes to that advancement, okay? I really hope so. So you have this very strong inner knowing that you are able to, you know, not even that you're able to, but you know who you are and you kind of love who you are, and it pisses you off when you see that other people in your environment, your teachers, you know, your counselors, school counselors, doctors, priests, rabbis, whatever you want to call them, spiritual counselors, are just kind of like making you fit into a mold that it was never meant for you. It's kind of like, if you guys are Pluto and Sagittarius, you are like larger than life. Collectively, you guys are badasses. So obviously you won't fit into an antiquated school system that dates back to the 19th century, okay? You are meant to completely transform it. So I feel a very strong oracle presence with you guys, and oracles are the name that I have given to the Pluto and Sagittarius generation. A video on that coming soon. But let me pull the final card for you. So let's see. I have here the Crystal Angels deck. I want to wrap up your reading with one sweet message. And as I said, two cards came up because Spirit is being very funny today. So let's see. We have here Malachite, Prosperity. There's a positive shift in your flow of divine support. And then we have citrine. And it says here, unnecessary worries. Release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solutions. You don't have to worry that if you don't complete your education in the traditional institutions in which you were educated or thought, kind of pressed into. If you don't complete school, or if you don't complete a higher education program, you might think, oh my God, what am I going to do? Am I going to be able to earn a lot of money? No, you guys are meant to reform this. So again, especially if you are Pluto and Sagittarius, don't worry about it. You are meant to create a lot of abundance, a lot of prosperity, and you will. You need to have this faith, okay? Pluto in Sagittarius, it's about like changing faith, changing your the ways in which you understand reality and infusing it with a lot of optimism, because you might be feeling sad, or you might be feeling like you're overwhelmed by dramatic feelings sometimes, but this is only to help you overcome them and transform them into something optimistic, empowering, full of strength. Yeah, you are energy manipulators, guys, and be careful, because if you are Pluto in Sagittarius, or a moon in Sagittarius, or a moon conjunct Jupiter, what you feel you manifest instantly in your reality, what you think as well, and what you speak. You need to be very, very careful not to control other people or to change them, although some of you, as I said, would be very happy to change the traditional structure of education. But first, begin with paying very close attention to how you speak to others, through how you feel and through what you think. The more positive you are, the more empowered and strong and self-confident, the more in your divine director energy you are, the better you will achieve things. So I hope this helped. Wow, this felt like an empowering session as well. It was not only about your learning style, but I think the best way in which you absorb knowledge, as I said at the beginning, is if you are in transit, in motion, in moving vehicles. So as I said, try to take a book with you or download it on one of your technological devices when you are undergoing trips. That is the best moment when you can absorb knowledge, and knowledge that you will remember, and then you can put to good use in exams, or in maybe creating your own form of knowledge distribution. So maybe you might start your own schools. Maybe you might move everything to the online environment. You guys can actually achieve whatever you set your minds to, okay? So don't be worried about this current pandemic that we're having in the world. If it threw a spanner in your educational goals, don't worry, a change is coming, and you guys are part of this change, and you are actually going to give us lots of ideas as to how we can reform the system to make it more inclusive and to make it more adapted to a variety of learning styles. Because as I said, a couple of you could have been genuinely ostracized by the system. So that was the reading that I had for you, Group 1. It was longer than I wanted to make it, but I hope it provides some guidance and some help for you during this time. I'm sending you so much love. Make sure to subscribe as well. Be part of my family. Don't be on the outside looking in, okay? We want to keep you here and cozy. Send you so much love. Bye, guys. Hey Group 2, hello, welcome to your reading. Welcome to my channel. I'm Lexi, the local light worker. For those of you who are newly subscribed, hello, welcome. I'm so happy you're part of my crew. For those of you who are returning subscribers, I love you so much, guys. Thank you for being here. So I wanted to give you a reading where we will explore what is your best, easiest, most flowing learning style. So how is it that you can best absorb knowledge? This can also be a process where you absorb knowledge and then you share it with others. So I'm going to be looking at that side as well. We'll see how the reading goes, because I do want to say, guys, hand on my heart, the energy today is really bizarre, wacky, and strange. So I've been trying since the morning to connect with spirit, and it's just been giving me this pretty crazy kind of tornado-like kind of energy. A lot of emotional instability is in the air, with the Lion's Gate opening up very soon after a post-eclipse period. So it's like constant fiesta this year, you know. what's gonna happen next. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna stand strong. We're gonna do our best with what we have, and we're gonna keep the faith and be brave and awesome. Okay, so by the way, see, almost slipped my mind. This is for those of you that were drawn to this Prague booklet or the Selenite Heart. So Prague is actually one of the best cities in the world. It is astounding. It was one of the cities that was the least bombarded during the Second World War. So a lot of its edifices are from, well, basically from medieval times all the way up until, you know, the modern day times. And there are so many beautiful styles, and it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous energy in that city. Very stable, very grounded. If you're an earth sign, you will especially appreciate visiting Prague. I don't know, I just felt like saying this. Also, two things before I start getting into your reading. In between your group reading and the one before that, I actually took a break and I had to snack on some almonds. So I think a couple of you could be undernourished. So make sure that you snack on something, okay? You could be quite hungry and keeping yourself on a diet. Be careful, okay? Because you can faint if you don't eat. I'm saying this from experience. And also, I watered my ferns. So a couple of you could have plants around you that could be on their last legs. Make sure to water them. Not only because, you know, please take care of them because they're beings as well, but also the fact that if you have plants that are very dried in your house, that is negative energy. So please discard them or take better care of them. I don't know why I feel the need to say that, but it just poured out of me. So I'm just gonna go with the flow. Okay, so in terms of your learning style, the ways in which you absorb knowledge, we have here the Heaven Earth card, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Page of Pentacles in this deck. Yeah, 11. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, you guys need to be taking very good care of your bodies when you're learning. A lot of you might need to have a bag around you with snacks or some form of something that you can chew on, something that you can munch on. I feel that a lot of you that chose this group have a lot of nervous energy. This is my Virgo pile. Hey yo! Okay, so if you're a Virgo, Virgo moon, Virgo ascendant, to a large extent Virgo Mercury, because Mercury shows how we, you know, communicate, but also how we learn, how we, what is our preferred modality of studying, and then sharing this knowledge with other people. So Virgo Mercuries primarily. Or you could have a very strong Sun conjunct Mercury. A lot of us have that in our charts. That's not something specific or unique because Mercury travels very quickly and it usually meets the Sun's orbit quite soon, so quite fast. So another card that we have here, speaking of Virgo, we have Retreat and Recharge. Yeah. The best way in which you absorb knowledge is if you take care of your body. You need to somehow be careful about having eaten enough, if you have taken a good night's rest, have you exercised, have you drank enough water. If you don't take care of your bodily needs, it's going to be very difficult to ground this energy. And the moment I'm speaking these words, I can feel that kind of weird, chaotic energy that I felt with your group the moment I pressed record on this video. Now I'm kind of grounding it. You know, I feel like it's, you know, I also feel the need to drink a bit more water. So again, see, it's kind of like you guys need to drink more water. You need to watch your plants as well, you know. The ways in which we take care of our bodies reflect the ways in which we take care of our environment. So this is no way to judge you. I'm just trying to get you to become aware of these aspects because some of you might need to hear this. So with the Page of Pentacles here, you're just learning how to develop a very strong work ethic. You might need to have established habits around your learning. So I think that you guys really enjoy the school format where you start learning at a certain time, then you have a break, then you have, you know, a new topic or a new subject, and then you have all of your notebooks and all of your pens organized and sorted together. You know, you go home, you go to school. So there is this routine, you know, at established hours. there is this routine that kind of makes you feel stable and centered. And if you don't have that routine, it's going to be very difficult for you to learn something. It's going to be very hard for you to focus. I feel a lot of you could actually benefit from having plants or access to a garden around you as you are studying. So whenever you feel frustrated or like you can't understand something, you can just go outside and just put your feet in the grass, you know. It's really, really important that you establish this strong connection to your body and to your surrounding environment as you are studying. And it's really important as well that you have a schedule and you stick to it and you have very well-developed habits. It takes about 28 days to learn a new habit, to get us to change one bad habit into a positive one. So if you've been having issues with, you know, getting up on time or eating 3 meals a day or, you know, having a very healthy diet or drinking 2 liters of water a day, try to push yourself to begin a new healthy habit and maintain it for 21 days, and then your body and your mind is going to do this automatically for you, okay? It will require those things that you have trained yourself to do in the previous 28 days, okay? Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. That's how I managed to give up some really toxic things in my life. So you guys need to come into contact with yourselves. This is my Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo energy, especially Virgos. You know, you have some strong Virgo energy around you, and you do need this routine in order to feel like your energy is grounded, like it's not all up in the air and it's causing a lot of confusion and it's making you waste your precious life energy. Because energy is really, really important, guys. We need to learn to protect it. We need to learn to amplify it. You know, we're kind of like batteries in human form to some extent, okay? So let's find out further oracle messages. Okay, so we have here Aquilanda, and this is the goddess of never not broken. So everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. Aquilanda is a bit of a kind of, you know, she's a deity that presides over broken, traumatic situations, over women that need to heal. I mean, her story is really interesting. I won't go into it at the moment, but it's really important to keep in mind that if you had people that kind of, maybe I'm getting this feeling like maybe some people slapped you on your hands with a ruler, or maybe they made you feel awful, like maybe some teachers threw some chalk at you, or there was some sort of like bullying that happened in school, and it kind of made the educational environment feel a little bit threatening. Now, if this has happened to you, it's really important to understand that some of you might need to heal this educational wounds, because you are indeed very clever and you're very fit for the traditional structure of educational institutions. As I said, you will really appreciate the order and structure of schools, whether it's primary, secondary, or higher education, universities. You like that thing. You like to get up in the morning and to go to school and to be there and to have everything ordered for you by teachers, right? You like to look through curriculums and syllabuses, or syllabi. Sorry, guys. It's been a while. And you enjoy that whole thing. You know, you enjoy to get a booklet for each of your courses. You enjoy to get a preset reading list. Even the homework, in spite of the fact that some of you might not be so happy to do it, you enjoy the fact that it comes every day and you get to do it at home and then deliver it to your teacher in the morning. You like the routine. And this isn't somehow healing for you. I think I'm picking up that some of you might have very chaotic home environments, and when you go to school, you love the routine, you love the order. That was my case as well, guys. When I grew up, didn't really like home, but I loved school, and this is why I ended up becoming a teacher. School for me was safe. Books and library stores and books and libraries, bookstores and libraries were safe to me, so I naturally spent lots of time there. So you might be the same. You might find a lot of peace and a lot of tranquility in the routine that education provides. And you absorb knowledge the best when you are stable, grounded, embedded within a routine, when you have well-developed habits around how you will study, how much you will read, from what books you need to read. You need to make a plan before you start studying. So spend some time on doing that. And if you feel overwhelmed, then that is an indication from spirit that you need to put pen and paper, okay, to work. You need to develop a plan. First, don't just dive into reading a lot of material. Create a reading list and then check it with your teacher. Is it okay? Should I read more? Should I read less? Okay, you are really this kind of learner. You need to consult other people. You need to pay attention to the details. And you need to be careful not to overexert yourself as well or spread yourself too thinly, yeah? Also, as I said earlier, take very good care of your body. So let's find out what additional cards we have for you. Oh, wow. Topaz. Forgiveness heals. Yeah, as I said. Let's see. Let me read you the affirmation and then I'll tell you what I feel with the Aquilanda card. So, time to release repressed anger as it's blocking your health and happiness. Oh, yeah, so a couple of you might actually find some solace and some calm and peace and tranquility in your school environment, mostly because you might have been bullied at home as well. So you might have been rushed, or there is no sort of structure in your home environment. Everything is a bit chaotic. Maybe you come from a divorced family, so you always have to move from one place to the other, which kind of makes you value the stability of just one home. Or the stability of one classroom and one institution, you might feel quite a strong sense of attachment. And maybe education is giving you a sense of self-worth that you never got in your family of origin or in your group of friends. So yeah, I think that for a couple of you, if you have been separated from this educational environment due to the pandemic, this was really hurtful because it was snapping away this world of libraries and meeting other people and having presentations and maybe sharing knowledge and communicating ideas. You maybe were forced to just stay at home with people that might not have understood you or accepted you for the brilliant mind that you have, because I think you guys are very intelligent, very perceptive. A lot of introverts might have chosen this group. But it's quite hard for you to feel accepted by the people in your environment. And this is a common case with children that are born in, for example, in working class families, and they end up succeeding in higher education. They end up having a master's degree or a PhD. And then when they return to their family of origin, nobody understands why. What are they doing? How are they earning money by writing and speaking, So you might be feeling like this. You might be feeling a little bit alienated. And we have here as well Diamond. Look at this. Value your self-worth. You are so worthy, group 2. If you are drawn to this pile and to the Prague booklet, I think that you need to travel to Prague as well. I think you're gonna massively enjoy that cultural trip. But it says here, you are God's precious gem. So whatever wounds you might have incurred while growing up in your family of origin, I see this primarily, or in your environment, in your culture. Maybe a lot of you are women watching this. I know primarily my subscribers are women. Maybe you come from a culture where in some way education was demonized. It's almost like it was unbecoming of a woman to go and get herself educated. It was rather more imposed on you to find a husband, get married and have children very early on. So you had to work through these wounds, you had to stand up and you had to proclaim, hey, no, I want to study this, I feel some of you are studying some really tough subjects. Maybe, mathematics, as I said, maybe your mathematics is tough to me, okay, so that's why I'm kind of projecting my own thing here. But I do think that, like theoretical mathematics, it's a really tough area. Or you could be studying like becoming a lawyer, maybe international rights or business ethics, something very kind of like, meaty that requires a lot of hours of study. Some of you could be studying to become doctors as well. It's just, I see that your educational path requires a lot of study, a lot of dedication, commitment, effort, and in a way that makes you happy because, as I said, it took you away from bullying, from an unstable work environment, and it helped you heal. It helped you gain a sense of self-worth that was not based on what other people were saying in your environment, or if you were pretty, or if you got a husband early on, but it was about what you know and exchanging ideas and being in an environment that felt safe and accepting. Okay, so yeah, oh, my lovely warriors, The best way in which you can absorb knowledge is if you take care of your body, yeah, and you value your self-worth. Make sure to drink a lot, make sure to water your plants, and remove any negative energy from around you. So as I said, remove any dead plants if they reach that stage. If not, you can always, take better care of them. Sorry, I don't know why I'm insisting on this plant thing, but water, I feel like water needs to enter your life more. There needs to be a cleansing, a purging of some sorts. And with Aquilanda here and Forgiveness Heals, I think that water has to do a lot with healing trauma that you've experienced in your childhood with regards to your capacity to learn, to speak, to express yourself, especially in relation to the mother, okay? So your mother might have been very critical with how you expressed yourself, might have challenged you often, and it made you very tough in how you express yourself, but at the same time there's a wound there that needs to be healed and cleansed and purged so that you can generally be able to express yourself in public and to stop self-sabotaging your communication capacities, because you have healed that wound, you've released it, and you're able to express yourself without restraint. Okay, guys? So I wish you the best of luck in this endeavor. It was a pleasure for me to create this reading for you. As I've accustomed you, in a second I'll show you a photo with the spread. Feel free to subscribe and join my family. Comment, like, express yourself on my channel. Here you can express yourself. There's no fear of reopening that wound, okay? So I send you so much love, so much light. Take very good care of yourself. Mwah! Hey, group 3, hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Lexi, the local light worker. I'm really happy to have you here. If you're a new subscriber, hello, welcome to my crew. I'm super happy that you found your way to my energy. It was indeed a surreptitious moment that you were pulled into this, whatever this is, whatever it is I'm doing here. Divination mostly, but I think therapy as well. I don't know. I'm really happy to have you here, guys, okay? Whatever the circumstances are, you came here for a reason, and I hope I'm able to provide you with a reading that will help you get to know yourself better. This is for those of you that were drawn to the Rumi booklet. Rumi was a famous Persian poet and mystic. He wrote the Rubaiyat, a collection of very short poems. And I don't know why, but as I was preparing and tuning into the energy for your group, two things happened. It's kind of like with the previous group as well. I felt like I put on a meditation video that had fire in it, so it showed a fireplace burning. And also I felt the need to watch a Bob Ross clip. So I watched a short clip in between filming your pile and group 2. And this kind of led me thinking that you guys need coziness around you during this period. You might genuinely need to put a blanket on yourself or make yourself feel warm. I know it's a bit strange because if you're in the northern hemisphere, it is the peak of summer. But with the strange weather we've been having at the moment, I do feel like you guys need to take very good care of your health, and you also need to keep your temperature at a very good balanced level. So I do think that you guys are the kind of group that is quite introverted in a similar way to group 2, but you are more cozy. You're more into your creature comforts. I feel like when you guys study, you need to have like a soft blanket. A lot of you could be working and studying and reading from your bed. I can fully identify with that. Most of my studies and the reading I did, the preparation for my assignments came from my bed. So my bed is super important to my personal development and to my professional development as well. So you guys might be the same, you might need to sit on a pillow or have very cozy socks on. You guys might have cats around you. So there's this sense of coziness and sweetness and softness around you, although having cats can be quite crazy sometimes from what other people have told me. But what I feel the need to do now, so after I've told you what I intuitively picked up on, I feel the need as well to read you from this booklet. I don't know why. I feel like some of you need to hear some romantic poems. So when I thought of reading you a poem, this was the page that I immediately opened, and I thought, okay, so this is somehow divinely guided. Let's flow with it. So what we have here, Rumi writes, there is a way from your heart to mine, and my heart knows it, because it is clean and pure like water. When the water is still like a mirror, it can behold the moon. Okay, guys, so this is the poem that I had for you. Also, I have here citrine if you were drawn more to the crystal than to the booklet. This was actually, this small book of poems was given to me as a gift from a friend who I unfortunately lost contact with. But it was really a surprising thing because, I don't know, I guess he picked up on something in my energy, decided to gift me this small book of poems. Okay, so now let's move on to the cards. I think you're wondering, am I at the right reading? Is this a tarot reading or what, Lexi? You'll get your cards in a second, okay? I just want to create an atmosphere of coziness and comfort so that you feel welcomed and you feel like we're just hanging out, okay? So I'll pull one card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And the card that popped up for you is the Seven of Earth, or the Seven of Pentacles. Meditation. And then I'm going to nuance this card by pulling from 4 additional oracle decks. I'm really happy to say that the majority of the decks I'm using in this reading were actually donated to me by you, lovely subscribers. So I love you and I thank you so much. It's making the readings I provide for you, the free ones and the personal services, it's just enhancing them and making them joyous and more nuanced and better in all ways. So thank you so much, guys. I have a tarot and oracle wish list if you want to drop by and have a look at other things that you can contribute with on this channel. But you can also just bring your sweet self here. You know, you don't have to actually donate or contribute in any way. So, okay, I feel the need with you guys to have all the cards laid out on the table. With the other groups, I didn't feel the need to do that, but I feel like your energy is very, I don't know, it's very centered, it's very focused. And not only that, but as I mentioned at the beginning, so I was playing this meditation in the background with fire log burning. And look, we have fire burning in the background of this tree man, it looks like it. So you guys could be actively into spirituality. When you study, you might need to have some sort of meditation music playing in the background. As I said, you need to have a very cozy, comfortable environment. A lot of you love to study in your bed, in the comfort of your own home. You love to be dressed in slacks. You love to not think about if you have makeup on or not, you know. I don't know how much you guys actually absorb when you are in a school or in a social setting, because I think you guys, as I said, the majority of you are highly introverted, so you might be very distracted when you are out in a social setting, or you could be overwhelmed by all the social stimulation. So when you come home, it's kind of like you need to cleanse or remove the energies around you in order to be able to sit down in peace and quiet and work away. A lot of you are self-taught students, so maybe you're homeschooled, or maybe you took it in your own hands to teach yourself, but not in a kind of like I mean, group 1 had that as well, but they are more like fire energy, you know. They wanted to like reform the system, and you know, they wanted to have this control. It's like, let me do it. You more are like, I need peace, I need extreme quiet in order to study. You guys could actually wear those earplugs as well when you're studying. You're very bothered. Some of you could be bothered by noises, you know, or you could be generally scared by spontaneous noises in your environment. So I feel like you guys might be part of that group that when you go to a library, you could be like, shh, you know, or you could be really bothered. You might not necessarily react to correct others, but you could be really bothered if all of a sudden there are lots of like munching noises or people chatting each other up while you are meant to be in a space where you just learn. So for some of you, I feel like you might use music and headphones as well. There is this sense of going inwards with you and your energy. And I feel like you guys are really innovative and you're highly creative as well, highly imaginative people. So as I said, if you meditate, if you play some music, if you generally like work on opening up your chakras through meditation, I feel like you guys are generally going to improve the way in which you absorb knowledge. There is such a peacefulness about you. I'm feeling like so peaceful. And indeed, like, if you watch a Bob Ross clip, which is what I did before I began your reading, it's like he has such a soothing voice, you know, it's like unintentional ASMR. And I think that you guys need this. I think that you also can project this kind of image onto other people. So when you teach other people, you're very soft-spoken and you're very calm and patient, you know, almost like a cat person, you know, you're very into yourself but centered, and you're very soft-spoken and intuitive. But at the same time, it's like you will find it very difficult to teach or to express yourself in far too large groups. So for example, I think you would handle very well a close group of 10 to 15 people to speak to them, but like an auditorium of 100 or 300 students might scare you, okay? It might give you the creeps, you know? Also the fact that people might ask you to speak into a microphone, that might get quite annoying quite soon. So I think you guys are very self-conscious, very self-aware. I think you're very spiritual as well. You love your creature comforts. Let me show you the other cards. So you have Thekla, and we also have here a big cat, right? So as I said, you guys can be like cats, not only have cats. You are more like reclusive, you know your worth. You don't necessarily expel energy just because somebody told you to do something. You like to think about how you're going to do something. And most of the times you might not even reply, or you might just leave it for the moment when you feel like you have enough energy to deal with certain things, you know? I feel like your energy and the way you carry yourself, it's almost like can be described as precious. You are very good at valuing your self-worth. Even as I'm trying to tune into your energy, I find it very hard to express myself. I feel like the energy is kind of like it's so peaceful and so within, retreated. The energy has retreated within so much that I don't even feel the need to speak. So you could be a very good listener. You absorb energy and knowledge by listening, okay? This is why you need to cleanse yourself regularly. So Tesla, maybe you could be drawn to Tesla innovations or a futuristic landscape. As I said, you guys are very imaginative. So Thekla, the prophetess of true power. I call my power back from all the times and all the places. I am my own. So yeah, exactly. There is a sense of ownership, a sense of kind of like you're being possessive with yourself. It's like, you know how people are looking for the one and are looking to improve their self-love or self-worth. You have that in spades, but not in an extroverted kind of way. You just know who you are and you know what you're not going to put up with. And you are just happy with how things usually are. I don't think like a lot of you want to... A part of you wants to innovate, but not necessarily your immediate surroundings. A part of you wants to innovate like society or high ideals or codes of law. But I think another part of you is very happy with reality, the immediate surrounding reality, like your home, like your parents, like your educational establishment, as they are to some extent. A lot of you could also like to escape, you know, in your imagination, in your drawings, in your world, the one that you can create very easily through the fact that you're very imaginative. So I feel that the way in which you absorb knowledge as well is through visuals as well. You might love to watch documentaries, you might love to watch movies, you might love to create your own video clips as well. These could be mostly focused on images, not necessarily so much on words or movement or, you know, the camera filming you as you speak, but this is more about you filming the world and observing the world because you're very observant. And we have here Kuan Yin, care and compassion, lotus, enlightenment. As I said, I feel like you guys are really like super spiritual. You could be a life path 7. You could have a very strongly activated crown chakra energy. Let me read you the affirmation. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. I feel like this is the issue. I feel a lot of people might reproach you that you are too into yourself, or too, you're not very easily giving, you know, like people feel the need to take words out of you with a lot of effort, you know, it's a lot of effort to get you to move from your surrounding environment. So people might really give you a hard time about why are you not responding, why are you not coming out more, why are you not more extroverted, or why don't you speak more loudly or go out often, because it's like you genuinely love the way you are, and even you don't feel the need to impose your personality on other people. You just love to be centered, to be grounded, to be in the moment, and to you basically give back to other people, not by expressing yourself, but by listening to them. You show care and compassion for other people by listening to them. And I feel you're this kind of person that notices a lot of things about other people because you are so intuitive and attentive and observant, right? So you speak less, but you, when the situation requires it, it's almost like you can preempt other people's needs. Like somebody's looking for a pen and you just brought the pen and placed them next to them, you know? Or somebody is, maybe you have to work for your boss, or you have to work for your professor in a group of schoolmates or colleagues at work, and you bring pizza, you know, because you know you're gonna work late in the hours of the night, and you bring pizza, or you bring that professor or that boss a cup of coffee, you know, even without them having to ask. You just know their preferences, so that it's a little bit like a kind of magical quality about you, you know. We also have here sodalite, socialize or join in. So it says here, make healthy and supportive new friendships and connections by getting involved with a group of like-minded people. I think this is the big issue in your life. It's like you want to be part of a group. You don't want to be so solitary. You do want to socialize, but you want to socialize with people that get you, you know, people that understand your intelligence, your jokes, your preferences. I think it's very hard for you to find people that you enjoy spending time with. You could be really into the cosmos, you know, into astrophysics, and you might not find people that are around you that are into that. Or you could be into feminist literature, you know, or into obscure vintage films from the 1920s, you know. You could be into works of art from the 15th century, something that is very unique and out there, but you find it very hard to connect to your normal group of friends, like normal people around you. It's like you have very niche tastes, very exclusive tastes, and you like the innovative, you like the unique, the bizarre in people and in art and in culture. You just wish that you could find somebody that can share it with you. And I think you will, so you don't have to worry about that. All you need to do is kind of maybe reach out to online groups, or kind of choose a field of study, choose a field of study that you want to do, not what other people kind of pressure you to do, because that's how you're going to earn more money. People don't know how you're going to earn more money. As you can see, the economy is shifting every year at the moment, right? We live in a very precarious economical and social political world situation. So go by your intuition, follow what you want to study, and this is how you're going to find that group of like-minded individuals that you will fit into. Okay, and I feel like have I given you all the cards? I feel like one is missing. Yes, the Angels and Ancestors deck. I want to wrap up your reading with this. The energies today are a little bit strange, so I'm just trying to navigate them as best as I can. I really hope you're safe and happy and healthy wherever in the world you might find yourself. So let's see, final card for group 3. Spring. Ah, this is perfect. Usually when one of these cards that speaks about the seasons pops up in your reading as the final card, this means that by next spring, some educational goal is going to come true for you. So keep at it, keep studying, keep applying, follow your heart, follow your intuition, study what you enjoy, not what you think is going to give you money, because that's what your parents have been telling you, and you will see results by next spring. Whatever has been blocked at the moment, maybe you had some issues with graduation or with signing up for a new course of study because of the pandemic, don't worry, by next spring you will see results, okay? So it's really important as well to keep in mind that with this kind of energy in your final placement, it's like, again, you're a rabbit, right? Look here, you could be born in the year of the rabbit, or you could have pet rabbits or pet cats, as I mentioned earlier. There is a sense of coziness, and even this thing in the background reminds me of lavender. So yeah, very calming energy. Even here, these two cards, purple, right? As with the lavender here. very calming energy, very beautiful. Like you could be a very introverted Sagittarian as well. Sagittarius usually that energy comes in two sides. So some Sagittarius are very bold and ha 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 and exploratory and wild, and others are very introverted and incredibly intelligent and perceptive. You know, kind of like Noah Chomsky, for example. So this is what I see for you, group 3. I kind of felt like the reading was a little bit over the place, but I hope it made sense when you will see it by yourself or with other people. Don't let me tell you what to do. Whoa, this energy is crazy. I hope you've enjoyed the Rumi poem. Sorry if I was a bit all over the place. As I said, the energy today is a bit whacked. We are close to the Lion's Gate, which means that the sun will soon conjunct the brightest star in the solar system, Sirius. And it feels like there's a flow of fresh new energy coming into our environment. So yeah, prepare for some really interesting shifts. I think for you, educationally, things are gonna go very well starting from this autumn, and you'll see results in spring, okay? In a second, I'll show you a photo with the spread. And yeah, I want to wrap up the reading by wishing you the best of time and take care of yourself, okay? Bye. Hey group 4, welcome to your reading. Welcome to my channel. I'm Lexi, your local light worker. Hello new subscribers. Hello returning subscribers. This is going to be your reading. I named it the sponge because I have this understanding of our brains as gigantic sponges that absorb knowledge. I'm going to try to find out in your reading today what is the best way in which you can absorb knowledge. So this is for those of you that were drawn to this Japanese and German dictionary and the honey calcite stone. Very beautiful stone, quite empowering. Maybe some of you are having some confidence issues around that, and also like Japanese and German are two of the hardest languages to master. So maybe some of you kind of felt a little bit out of your depth in terms of amassing knowledge and even undergoing the steps of traditional education. I am having to say this. Okay, so the energies today have been really weird because we are close to the Lion's Gate. So when that moment when the sun will conjunct Sirius, one of the brightest stars in the sky, and which finds itself in the constellation of Leo. Not only that, but I am feeling like you guys are sad or tired, or I am getting a sense of you could be overwhelmed with feelings in this period, and not being able to release them will impede to some extent your progress in learning new things, because it's a known fact that when we are overwhelmed with very strong feelings, it's hard for us to study, to open our minds, to receive knowledge. And the best thing you can do is first to release the feelings, to process them, so that you can clear that mental energy in order to use it for studying and learning something new, okay? So I think that whatever has been happening in your life, this is a general reading, right? I think it's really important for you to process what's been happening. Take some time away if you can. Maybe even sleep, have a really good night's rest, 12 hours if you can, and then come back with fresh eyes and more relieved heart to your course of study. I am feeling this. It's even hard for me to speak. I feel that you guys have been growing through the ringer lately. You know, a lot of sad things happen, and I think primarily for you guys, there was some sort of betrayal in your family or some really tough situation with taking care of relatives that you had to take care of, and this has somehow blocked your faith, your belief, your optimism in life, and your capacity to open up to study, okay? So that's the initial intuitive message that I got for you guys. I think that a lot of you could be drinking too many soft drinks. I had some orange juice, like fizzy orange juice before. So be very careful about that. You know, it might lead you to feeling a little bit irritated in this period. Okay, so let's find out. I'm pulling a tarot card from the Dreams of Gaia tarot. I'm really happy to say that in this reading I'm using mostly donated decks, so I have 5 of them. This is fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting this work. I love providing you with free readings. So let me show you the card now. We have here the 8 of, for a second I had to look at it. God, I'm like tuning into your energy, and I'm feeling like I'm ready to go to bed, you know? But it doesn't matter. We're going to transmute this energy, okay? I'll help you blast whatever circumstances, whatever difficult life circumstances you might be going through at the moment. I'll blast them with light, okay? If I can genuinely muster up the energy to speak in this reading. Okay, so we have the 8 of Air, or 8 of Swords. This is usually a very tough card. In this deck, however, it gathers almost like a spiritual twist. You see here in the background 2 dolphins, and the dolphins are very playful creatures. They are among some of the most intelligent mammals, and their behavior is very similar to human behavior. So I do think that whatever has been happening in your environment in this period has blocked your capacity to be playful. Being playful is a sign of intelligence and a capacity to adapt to circumstances. And I think you've been severed from this energy. You've been separated. You've been limited. So I think that if you want to get back into your educational groove, if you need to have strength and stamina to study in this period, try to do something playful. Play a computer game, go outside and play some football, play some volleyball, go for a swim, go for a bike ride. It's really important for you to do something playful in order to kind of shift this energy from a point of sadness and low vibing, kind of draining, depleting energy to one in which, okay, I'm feeling better. You know, I feel like I can take on the study load right now. It's really important to tune into this dolphin-like animal spirit vibration, which is all about playfulness, being a little bit cheeky and mischievous, but having fun, yeah? So having fun. A couple of you need to relax as well. So maybe you need to just, you know, prepare a nice relaxing bubble bath. Maybe do some sort of herbal medicinal steam bath. Make some tea and put your feet up, you know, go and get a pedicure. I am touching my left foot as I am doing this reading for you. So there is something here about maybe getting a foot massage. Maybe your shoes have been too tight and they've been constricting the flow of blood in your body. Please pay attention to your feet, guys. They are ultra important. And I'm not just saying this because the feet are the body part I rule naturally as a sun in Pisces. You could also be Pisces if you're watching this group and we're drawn to group 4. But it's really important to take care of your feet because they sustain the whole structure of your body, okay? They enable you to walk and move around. And the more you can walk and move around, the better your mental flow is going to be as well, because motion is a lot about us clearing and shifting our emotional body as well, but it's also about setting the engines of our minds in motion as well. Have a look at group number 1. They were primarily learning through being in motion and in transit. But what I see for you is that you need to be emotionally stable, okay? You need to be emotionally stable in order to learn, in order to study. The best way in which you can absorb knowledge is actually by having somebody talk to you. So you genuinely need to go to school, to classes at the university. You need that interaction, you need that one-on-one. You would definitely benefit from having a supervisor, a mentor, maybe even like an additional teacher. You know how you would get an additional teacher on top of the ones that you would get in school. You could pay them for extra hours, extra tutoring hours. So yeah, a tutor, maybe an assistant. You would benefit from having somebody by your side that kind of guides you in your learning and studying process. Some of you could also have certain like mild learning impairments. You know, you could have dyscalculia or dyslexia. So you might have maybe some eyesight issues. Maybe you need to wear glasses when you study and when you read. Maybe you find it very hard to concentrate on the written page. or you might need to mediate your study with some sort of technological device. And as I said this, I kind of clinked on the table with my ring. So I do feel that not only do you need somebody to maybe guide you and provide you with a structure for learning and studying, but I feel like you absorb knowledge. Here's the thing. So what I'm getting with your pile, you absorb knowledge when you are, like, you can only make sense of what you have absorbed, not when you are by yourself or when you're writing, but when you're talking to another person. So it's kind of like you need to talk ideas out with another person. It's kind of like that person can be like your sounding board. And as you are speaking, you are making sense of what it is you have absorbed. Does that make sense? So you need to have like those long philosophical walks, you know, that Plato used to do in his practice, right? So you need to kind of talk to a mentor to make sense of what it is you are trying to say, what it is you're trying to write down. You know, if you need to write an essay, it's very good to talk to another person about your idea first, and then you go and you write it down, yeah? Or if you are trying to solve a problem, it's really good to have an assistant or a tutor by your side, and you can carefully explain to them what are the steps, how are you thinking, what is your, you know, the mindset behind it, what is your perspective, what is the theory you might want to apply in the situation. So you guys absorb knowledge by talking to other people. You need this human contact. You need this one-on-one. I think that you guys might learn a lot from YouTube videos as well, especially from the ones that show people with faces, okay? So hey-yo, because you need to see the other person's non-verbal expressions as well. You learn a lot by studying other people's non-verbal cues. So this is really important. It's kind of like you're an emotional and physical learner, if that makes sense. Like, you need to see people, you need to hear them, and you also need to be in a very stable place emotionally. I feel like if you guys are not in a stable place emotionally, you run the risk of being overwhelmed and of not being able to process new information, because you first need to sort out the emotional or the relational aspects that have been overwhelming your mind in your current life circumstances. Just what's happening. Okay, so let's find out, how can we nuance the Eight of Swords? I think like it's really important to choose the right people, because you could, with the Eight of Swords here, I feel like maybe there were some betrayals regarding education. Maybe there were some people that might have taken your ideas away. There is, you know, you need to be very careful not to idealize the people that teach you too much, and to be very careful not to think that they are all knowing. Don't give your power away when you're studying, okay? It's really, really important. So you also have here Yeshet Sogyal, I think. Sorry, I do not know how to pronounce this. I'm just winging it. Maybe winging it could be something that you might need to do when you're studying, or you've been doing that. But what we have here is Lady of the Lotus Born, and the affirmation is, embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. So yeah, as I was saying, we store up emotions in our body. So if you're not in a good place emotionally, you might actually have some somatic issues. And if you have somatic issues, well, you're not going to be able to focus on studying and learning. So there is a link here between your body, your emotions, and your capacity to absorb knowledge. If your body is not fit and healthy, if your emotions are not balanced and free-flowing and open, then it's going to be very difficult for you to study. So what I recommend you doing is not only using the talking cure to talk to other people, but also, again, I do emphasize this, working out could be really, really helpful. As I said, you know, being playful, tuning back into that playfulness, not taking study so seriously, not being so, I need to study right now because if not, it's the end of me. Don't take it so dramatically, okay? It's a process. Take your time with it, take it step by step, and don't get worried if you're like making mistakes. I feel a lot of you could have a very strong fear of making mistakes. So let's find out. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. You got Commander Ashtar, call to action. I feel like a lot of you could have like some sort of karmic placements in your chart regarding mentors. Maybe you have Saturn in the ninth house, or the third house, the 12th house as well. Or you could have Pluto in the 10th. Anyway, I'm just saying what I'm, some sort of weird mixed planets, Mars conjunct Pluto in the 6th as well, or Mars conjunct Jupiter. Okay, I'll stop there. There could be some conflicts or some obstacles or some limitations, maybe a lot of projections, maybe a lot of control and power struggles regarding your educational environment. So you have to be very careful, you know, that you don't cross boundaries, other people's boundaries, or that you don't allow other people to cross your boundaries in the realm of education, okay, and how you absorb this knowledge. Also, it's like, you know, Michel Foucault used to say that knowledge is power. So I do think that this applies to your group. You might be able to know a lot of things even without knowing how you know them. Exactly, primarily by reading other people's nonverbal cues. So you might know it by using your intuition and by being able to observe nonverbal expressions. And because of that, people might think that you kind of dig into their lives or dig into their secrets. So be very careful with how much you share of what you know with other people. Be very careful about boundaries. Establish some very clear boundaries in your educational environment. And I think that if you are starting some sort of emotional or sexual liaisons with people in this environment, be very careful, because I think this could really affect your capacity to earn your degree. And I'm getting like breathless almost. God, what's happening? Oof. I think a couple of you might have been through something like that, maybe something traumatic, you know. Speak to the correct authorities. There are always people that you can talk to if there was an abuse that happened in your educational environment, or whether a person that was supposed to be a mentor, a teacher, or professor took advantage of that, okay? It's really, really important that you speak out to people, and there are many different ways in which you can do it. You can speak to the school doctor, the school counselor, you can speak to, you know, the local people in your environment that can help you, maybe religious person, or like the police. There are many people that you can appeal to. I just felt the need to say this because I felt a strong pang in my sacral chakra and almost like I was out of breath. So take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. I feel like you guys are able to share with others what you've learned from a deep, deep level. So you are also able to absorb knowledge that is related to psychology, psychotherapy, healing modalities. You could be attracted to the occult. You learned a lot, so you absorb knowledge by undergoing difficult life circumstances. I am seeing this very strongly. It's coming so clearly right now after I've verbalized the fact that I'm running out of breath and that I'm feeling a pressure in my sacral chakra. So you need to, it's like you absorb knowledge. The moment you become aware of your emotions, you understand where they come from, you release them, and then you're able to interpret what has happened to you. This is how you can also absorb knowledge, but communicate it to other people. And this is where you might shine at, okay? So definitely write about your life experiences and share with other people if you have undergone some difficult, traumatic educational experiences, okay? Your final two cards are, we have here Ametrine, and the affirmation is, allow your feminine side to creatively inspire you and your masculine side to give you confidence. So Ametrine is all about balancing the masculine with the feminine. So maybe in some parts you might have needed to be more authoritative in your educational path, in maybe establishing a schedule and taking control of your program of study. And in other parts, you might have needed to let go a bit more, to be a bit more intuitive, to be a bit more easy-flowing, to not be so obsessed with control and achieving a certain outcome. Maybe there might have been some competitiveness issues. Maybe there was a friend that stabbed you in the back. Maybe you had some sort of educational agreement and it did not come through. Maybe you had to change your school because of bullying. Maybe there was a teacher that might have sexually kind of made advances at you. All sorts of these kind of things are popping up in your pile, and my heart goes out to you if you had to undergo such stressors. Just keep in mind that the way we absorb knowledge and knowledge in general, I know that it is conscribed in most cultures through the space of the school and, you know, universities and libraries, but you can also like acquire knowledge from life experiences, from traveling, from working in the land, from, you know, undertaking all sorts of jobs, from relating to other people, right? So I think you already know that very well. You're very good at emotional, relational, knowledge processing, but you might struggle with the logical, rational, institutionalized part of it, mostly because of these betrayals, of these hurts, of these competitive issues, you know, that have happened. So some of you could have been stabbed in the back in some sort of educational circumstance. And some of you, I think, could be generally afraid to go to school because of gun violence. That's kind of what I'm getting. As I said, you guys, I began the reading with quite a heavy energy, but we're shifting it. Don't worry. I'm already feeling how, you know, we're changing it by unblocking that path to your breathing. We're already shifting it. So we have here drum as well. And drum is dream and journey. And I haven't done this with any other pile, but I feel the need to do this with you. I want to read you from the booklet. I was searching for it with my eyes. So let's see. What is the additional message you need to hear for the drum? The drum card. We have this booklet here. It's so well written, you guys. This deck is amazing. Thank you, Molly. If you're watching this, I'm sure you might not be watching this, but thank you, Molly, for giving it to me. So we have here, journey inwards to uncover insights and information that will be important for your path. Then follow the guidance. You are very connected to the other worlds at this time. Oh, okay, so I'm getting that you guys could be clairsentient. The wisdom and intelligence of the earth and her magic surrounds you. The drum, which echoes the sound of Mother Earth's heartbeat, has cleared the cobwebs and dust from your inner vision. What you have seen in your dreams and inner vision is not imagination but guidance, particularly if it has been coming to you repeatedly and has the potential to become reality. Dreams come true. Know it and live it. So release the trauma. It's really important that you release whatever trauma you have in connection to knowledge and education. And once you do this, you're better able to implement your dreams. Many of you might have taken a step back or might have dropped out of school because of what has happened to you. Summon the strength to deal with that emotional aspect, to release and cut cords with that person that harmed you or those people that harmed you, and start again, okay? In a new institution with new people, by following whatever it is that you're passionate about learning. You need to deal with any body issues, any emotional issues, any relational issues before you can actually open yourself up to absorb fresh knowledge. You're highly intuitive, you're super imaginative, very, very good at, as I said, reading people's nonverbal cues, okay? So use that to help propel you forwards and release the sadness, okay? I already feel like I've been releasing the sadness. Let me invoke the element of water here in this reading. So I'm just cleansing your energy and cleansing the space for you, okay? So I will send you so much love and so much light. Make sure to comment down below and share your experiences. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. Comment, subscribe, you know, have a list in the description box. There are many, many goodies for you down there. And yeah, take very good care of yourself. I cannot speak, oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna go and have a lie down as well. So I'm gonna show you in a second a photo with your spread, okay? I wish you the best of days wherever you find yourself in the world.